Welcome to our tutorial video for the Chrysanthemum game. This is Chris, Kevin, and Sam playing at the table right now. And we're going to go start with some simple game setup.
So we'll start by taking the red cards and we'll shuffle them together.
Your game will come with sets of red, purple, and green cards. It's important to separate these out first. And Sam is shuffling just the red cards at this point.
So once we've shuffled the red cards, which have a triangle marking them on the back, we'll separate them out into 3 different piles of 8. In between the top 2 piles, we'll put one green backed card, and then we'll put another green backed card below those. And that's going to be the top of our deck. Then for the bottom of our deck, we'll shuffle these remaining red cards into the purple cards. And then about halfway through this deck, we'll put the last green backed card, and that's the bottom of our deck.
You can approximate it, you can split the deck out into equal halves. It doesn't matter so much for the latter half of the game, but you can do that if you choose to do so.
So now we'll set up the drafting board, which means flipping over the top 3 cards of the deck into the drafting spaces. And then we'll go ahead with the board setup. And the way we're going to do this is on the first layer of the world bloom. There are 4 layers of the world bloom. Blue is first, then red, then green, and then white. But on only the blue section, we will put a guild rune with the corresponding icon in each of these 8 sections. Now each player chooses a color of pawn, places it in the middle of the board, and then takes all of the seed tokens of their corresponding color and flower type. So in this game, Chris is going to play first, I'll play second, and Kevin will play third.
Yep.
Which means as a handicap, I start with 1 pollen, and Kevin starts with 2 pollen.
We get 3 actions per turn starting the game. And you have a little action card that is included with your game. It lists everything that can be done as an action.
If you want to, you can take one of your seed tokens and you can put it on your action tracker on your card to denote how many actions you're allowed to take on a turn.
I'm going to gather a seed. Now, seeds are important because they allow you to use a different kind of action called planting a bud. And to win the game, you need to plant a certain number of buds depending on how many people are playing, which with 3 players is
10.
So I have gathered a seed. That was my first action. I'm then going to move, and that is the second action. The way that movement works is you can choose any of these edges of a petal tip and move across them, but you can also stop at any of these individual points if you so choose. For instance, I could have chosen to stop here or here. The important thing to note here is that movement is restricted in the beginning part of the game. We're only allowed to move within this first layer of petal tips. So anything outside of the blue track is off limits for the time being. But these little points will be your way to get to the second and third layers of the board.
Also, when moving, you can go either all the way to a petal tip on the same color or all the way back to the center of the world bloom. However, when you stop moving, you must stop if you hit a petal tip. So I can't go to this petal tip and back to the center of the world bloom in one move. And that's going to become important when we get to the second layer, because I won't be able to do something like this in one move. This will take 1 move there, 2 moves, 3 moves, and 4 moves.
So those were my first 2 actions. I gathered a seed and then I moved. So now I'm going to plant a seed, or spread seeds as it says on the card. And that allows me to plant a bud on the petal tip location that I'm currently at. There can only be 1 bud per petal tip location, barring special card abilities that allow you to plant in locations that you're otherwise not allowed to plant. This means that this is my petal tip, and I will be able to generate pollen on the next turn because I have a bud. So next up, it will be Sam's turn.
So unlike Chris, I will not take a seed, and I will go directly to this guild rune. I'll take this guild rune, and the value of taking this guild rune is that it now allows me to draft cards that have the blue icon if I can pay enough pollen for them. Knowledge Stream doesn't cost any pollen, so I will not pay any pollen, and since I have the appropriate guild rune, Knowledge Stream will go into my hand.
And when he drafts a card, the drafted card is then replaced by the top card of the deck.
So now it's Kevin's turn.
Let's see. I will move here. Take. And I will take the crawling vine.
All right.
Now it's the beginning of Chris's turn again, and since Chris planted a bud last turn, his bud generates 1 pollen for him. Alright, it's my turn again, and I'll once again demonstrate a new action. I will gather 1 pollen using one of my actions, and then I'll spend both of these pollen to draft Seasons Change. Then I'll use Knowledge Stream to draw a card. Now I'll use Deep Freeze to destroy the crawling vine in Kevin's hand. And now I'll use Seasons Change to clear all of the cards currently in the drafting area and replace them.
Playing cards does not cost an action if that was not perfectly clear. So if you have a bunch of cards in your hand or are able to acquire a bunch of cards on your turn, you can actually gain a lot of momentum off of that one turn. Now, this is a pretty big turn because it also reveals our first bloom card. Now, these bloom cards don't go into the drafting area, but when you do draw them, everybody gets an additional action per turn. We also get to add the guild tokens to the next layer of the world bloom, and that means that the next layer is also accessible to us for planting and movement.
So now that we've bloomed, I have 2 actions remaining in this turn, but I have no pollen left and I really need to get a seed down on the board. So I'm going to go to this petal tip and I'm going to plant a seed. I think the only thing that you can do that gives you a chance of winning the game is clearing one of these. Probably clearing Stick Seed is the right move despite the fact that it could be helpful.
Oh, you can only clear 1 card
Yeah, you
Per
clear one
turn,
per
yep.
Okay. Well, I'm taking this guy. And I think I'm moving back.
Alright, Chris.
1, 2, 3, 4. GG.
Yay.
But your piece fell over before you planted, so that means you surrendered, right?
That's not chess. This is not chess, everybody.
Alright, thanks for watching.